Hello, this is Brian Purdy with the Florida Aviation Network. Today we're visiting with John Limbach, the pilot and restorer of the Breezy Memory Maker. Welcome, John. Thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you. Enjoyed coming into Oshkosh and for AirVenture. This is the return trip of this particular Breezy. It is a 1968 Breezy that's just come out of restoration by myself, and it made its last trip to AirVenture at Rockford in 1968. So 55 years now, and it came back.
Quite the prodigal son.
Well, it was before my time even, so.
Yes. Well, we're here at Oshkosh, one of the first aircraft to show up. Are you doing volunteer work while you're here also?
I am. I will be doing some volunteer work here on the ground and spending the entire AirVenture here. So.
Okay. So, John, you're going to do a little unveiling here of the Breezy Memory Maker, and we can see what the new improved, I don't know, not necessarily improved, but restored. Yeah.
Yep, just a little different.
Okay.
I made a few adjustments to make my creature comforts work for it so that it enhances doing some Young Eagles rides as well as the standard old-time logo of the EAA logo. So that's why the color pattern I chose. So
great. Look forward to it. Let's go ahead and
take a look.
Take a look, yes. So how long did it take you to do the renovation?
It took 10 months of restoration, and during that 10 months, I've taken it all the way down to bare metal frame and repowder coated it, inspected all the welds, made sure I had all good material to work with, as well as put a new motor on it so that I had a fresh, safe start to go with. 0 bolts that were on it previously were ever reused. I took them off, measured them, and tossed them in the trash can and got all new Aviation bolts so we don't have the hardware store factor going on. And because I want to make this as safe as possible. If I'm going to transport somebody's kids around and offer them a flight to wet their wings, so to say, I want it safe.
And the Florida Aviation Network is always about safety, and we're always glad to see that that's a philosophy that others hold.
Well, thank you. I thought that's well worth it, you know. Got to do it right.
Okay. Well, let me get out of the way as you do this. Now, is the cover custom made also, or is?
Yes, this is a custom cover made by Bruce's Custom Covers, and they send you measurements and stuff that we start with, and then they mock it all up, send you a template, and you try it, make some markings on it, send pictures and stuff back of that, more measurements, and then they send you the cover built just for this bird. So I don't have to worry about it. Somebody else saying, "Oh, well, it fits mine, but not theirs." Nope, this is a one-off. Yeah.
Great. So, are there that much differences between different Breezys that it would not fit theirs?
There are a lot of differences. The different Breezys, they're all customized. The original Breezy was a plan, and then they built the original one, which hangs in the EAA museum from Carl Unger, and then this is one of the first few after that was built in 1968. And so they're all substantially different when you look at them. The basic envelope is there, but they use different wings, different motors, different avionics, different seat patterns. They can customize them quite a bit.
Now, I'm looking at this. Was this be considered an ultralight, or is it so too heavy?
No, this is still general aviation. It's not an ultralight. It's 838 pounds, so it doesn't fall under the ultralight category anymore. But so we had to kind of go that route with things.
Well, looking at this, I think you're also a fan of the Blue Angels.
Well, I am, but that was not the purpose. You know, the Blue Angels do some awesome work, and I could never get to that level, but I'm sure that. So this is the RLU-1 Breezy, and my version of it is the Memory, because I'm striving to make sure that each Young Eagles ride I give, or even Eagle ride I give, is something that's embedded into your mind that you'll have for years to come. A safe ride and something that's truly unique.
Now, are the young people sitting up front or up in the back?
No, the young people will be behind me, which for some it's a lot more comforting because then they know that they're not out there in front of everything. I do have to be in the front for weight and balance reasons, as well as so that I can have the controls. This particular plane does have a transponder and ADS-B so that others can see me and I can see them in and out. So with that being said, what do you see when you fly from the front? Well, honestly, I only see the tips of my toes, airspeed and altitude. The rest of the gauges, you won't have time to look at. You're too busy looking at all the other scenery.
What kind of altitude and airspeeds do you normally fly with on this?
Anywhere between 40, which is stall, on up to 100 mile an hour. And the comfortable ride is usually 60 to 70 mile an hour. And at that range, you're not burning a lot of fuel, 5 to 6 gallons an hour, and it makes it an enjoyable flight. And that's what I strive for, is to make sure that it's safe and enjoyable. I'm in that controllability zone, as well as you get to enjoy the ride.
Okay, great. And so what's the longest duration at fuel burn?
I can fly 2 hours on a tank full of fuel. Okay. This particular Breezy only has a 14-gallon tank, whereas some of them have the tanks in the wings. Once again, different variations of it. When I do redo the wings eventually, I'll probably put wing tanks in it just to give me a little longer duration, but we always need to stop a little once in a while.
Great. Well, we'll let you walk around, show some of the highlights, mention about a new engine and everything. It looks beautiful, but I'm going to let you take joy in talking about it.
So when I picked up this Breezy, it was in need of help. So we stripped it all down to bare metal, inspected all the welds, made sure that everything was safe. Then chose a color pattern after the Young Eagles and the classic EAA logo pattern from when I was a child, and I remember my grandfather working on airplanes. So it was kind of near and dear to the heart. So I chose the blue and yellow with white. The entire plane was stripped, repowder coated. Has a fresh motor on it. It's a Lycoming 0235, 115 horse, and a Prince P-tip propeller, and a freshly redone tail with brand new Seconite on it, and then started going down with putting some different logos, self-made logos on there to kind of spice things up a little bit.
Now, is that the same horsepower that the original Breezys had?
No, the original Breezy started out, I believe, with a 65 horse. My Breezy started out with an 80, and then was quickly changed not long after in the logbooks. Within a year, they changed it. Currently, it's 115 horse, and that seems to get it along nicely with 2 people on it without burning a lot of fuel.
Nice. So, yeah, this is definitely a way to make sure you see everything that you're flying.
So if you come out here to the wingtips, you'll see a logo of the Breezy. This was inspired by a man named Arnie Zimmerman. Arnie gave 13,000 plus rides on his 2 Breezys over 30 years. He was an inspiration to me to be able to share the gift of flight with children and others, so that they get to see something besides the back of Soccer Mom's head riding around town. So we'll walk on a little farther. So on the tail here, this is kind of a little touching little phrase that I implement in my life, and basically it's reminding you to stop and enjoy the present moment. And some of us have high stress jobs, and we need a little way to relax and enjoy life. And every flight I've taken has been exactly that. Relaxing.
No, you flying out of controlled airports, uncontrolled airports most time, or?
I mostly fly out of uncontrolled airports in northern Illinois.
Okay.
And I do have to occasionally go into a controlled airport, such as Oshkosh here. And for that, I do have my ADS-B out for the Avonics, and then ADS-B in with another product up front. So
this could do this, fly this anywhere, not even on a regular recorded strip, as long as you've got the land for it.
Yep.
It's got the nice wheels that can handle that too.
Oh, I can handle the rough ground, that's for certain. Getting in and out of a grass field, I need about 500 feet to get in and about 300 feet to get out. So it gets right with it. It was a solo.
Okay, great. Looks beautiful. You said it won competitions when it first showed here. Hopefully it'll do it again.
I'm hoping it'll place somewhere along the lines there, but you never know, you know. Either way, I'm glad to bring it back to Oshkosh so that others can enjoy it as well.
Well, thank you, John, for sharing some time with us in the story of the Breezy Memory Maker. We want to thank you for being here this year, and we look forward to seeing you around the campus. And this is Brian Purdy with the Florida Aviation Network, live and in the clear from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and AirVenture 2023. Come and join us.